Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Olvera, and I work with the California Energy Commission. This webinar is supported by our Outreach and Education Unit, and today, this webinar, we're going to provide training on the 2013 Non-Residential Energy Standards. Okay, so how do these changes affect the plans examiner? The plans examiner is going to do the same thing. You're going to verify proposed watts per square foot on the LTI form. Instead of it being the LTG1C, it'll now be on the NRCC LTI, which stands for Lighting Indoor 1 form. What you're going to want to verify is that the value should match the lighting schedule on the electrical plans. Majority of electricians, designers, etc. You're going to have a schedule identifying it's a luminaire schedule. What lights are you installing, how many, what's the wattage, etc. And as the plans examiner, what you want to verify is that the values listed here on the LTI1 form, as you see here, specifying the luminaire schedule, what type of lights are they installing, what's the watts per luminaire, etc., etc. Verifying that these values match up on the luminaire schedule provided. Oh, this one out. Let me do it. Okay, so this is a luminaire schedule, and I had a hyperlink to it, but it doesn't want to work for some reason right now. But as plans examiners, electricians, you know what those schedules look like. And so you're going to want to verify that the values on the LTI1 form match what's on the luminaire schedule. As a plans examiner, continuing on for the second bullet here, if PAF control credits are taken, which means they want to reduce the proposed lighting by installing the credits listed in the table, you're going to want to verify that they're specified and match any schedules on the plans. They will be specified on the LTI2 form. The LTI3 form will be required when the complete building method or area category methods are used, and then the LTI4 form will be required when the tailored method is used. So generally speaking, for electricians, for lighting, the LTI1 form and the LTI3 form will be required for majority of projects. The LTI2 form will be required if you're taking control credits, and the LTI4 form will be required when the tailored method is used. Again, come January 1st, again reiterating the asterisk here down in the left corner, all of these forms, certificates of compliance, will need to be registered with the non-res data registry come January 1st or after, if we have a non-res data registry approved at that time. For the field inspector, it's going to say business as usual. The only difference they're going to look at is if the tailored method is used, you're going to want to verify the general luminance lux. That'll be different than the watts per square foot. But essentially at rough frame, what you're going to want to verify the installed watts per square foot. The value should not exceed what's on the LTI1 form that we just looked at. In a utopia, a perfect world, we're assuming that the field inspector is walking through the building at rough frame, and they're going to walk through each room with the electrical plans and the compliance forms in hand, and they're going to count every single lighting can that's in there and verify that every single room complies. And us here at the Energy Commission know that is not reasonable and it's not realistic. So what I strongly suggest is that, if anything stands out, you plans examiners and you field inspectors and contractors, you folks are the experts. If something stands out, doesn't look right, go investigate further. But in regards to verifying the watts per square foot, spot check a couple of the places. If you want to check a smaller room or a larger room, you want to spot check one of those. Look at some of the candles, look at some of the lighting. If that matches up, continue on and you go on with your inspection. But if you spot check a couple of the areas and the watts per square foot, the luminaire types do not match up, that's going to raise a red flag and you're going to want to investigate further. If the builder does need to implement significant changes at this point, you do want to do so at the rough frame. You don't want to catch just that final and have to have them remove drywall, other types of deconstructive, the construction, I should say destructive construction, to rectify the situation. It's best to do it here at rough frame so that if they do have to maybe replace some of the luminaires or install lights somewhere else or relocate them, they could do so where it's more feasible and less costly.
power just inside the control credits were used if they identified specified controls to be installed to reduce the proposed watts per square foot. As the inspector, you want to verify that those controls are actually installed. You can defer, remember, we talked about earlier, the non-res certificate of installation, the LTI-5 form. This form is required when control credits are specified or modeled for credit to reduce the proposed watts per square foot. So with that said, if you wanted to refer to this form at final, you can do so. This form is 4 pages because it includes every single control credit that's available. But again, as we talked earlier, you'll just go through the form and whichever control credit is applicable. If you wanted to refer to the table in 140.6, that may be helpful. But again, what you'll do is you'll go through the form, and essentially you're going to want to have all the boxes checked off for the control credit that they're installing. So this is the form that we looked at earlier, but there is this form is included in the slide handout that was sent to you. So continuing on with field inspection, again, this is reiterating what we talked about earlier, but remember, during field inspection for lighting in general, you're going to want to verify that all the required non-res certificates of the installation, the LTI forms, are verified or completed. Again, we can refer back to the non-res certificate of compliance, LTI-1 form, to verify which forms are required. You're also going to want to verify that all of the acceptance testing forms for indoor lighting are completed. Again, you want to verify that they're performed and completed by a certified technician or contractor when all thresholds, when the thresholds have been satisfied. And also remember that all of these forms that are provided at final will need to be registered with the non-res data registry if approved come January of next year.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Christopher Olvera, and I work with the California Energy Commission. This webinar is supported by our Outreach and Education Unit, and today, this webinar, we're going to provide training on the 2013 non-residential energy standards.